we're back here with Tessanne, winner of the one of the greatest competitions of in history. By the way, did you know after winning that you inspired another Jamaican to run? I don't know if you, Anita
Anita,
Antoine,
Anita,
right? Yeah, and she came in fourth. You know, which is great, still great. We are there in the top 10, doing
yeah.
the thing that we need to do.
We also
So
had Dalton Harris, who was the winner of X Factor in the UK.
X Factor, exactly.
Yeah,
You,
the
you
first
set off you
Jamaican to
set
do
off a trend to son. Oh my gosh.
that.
But
Well,
you
why
need to.
not? Why not, right? We have some of
Hey,
the most talented people in the world, and that's what always gets me about Jamaica. We're very small, but
Talon.
the magnitude that comes out of that little island, of this little island, is something special, you know.
So coming from that, after the wedding, you know what? I mentioned Hideaway. So let's go back to your roots. You're from a musical family, and I know many people know about Tammy. But even before you and Tammy even went to high school, there are other family members that were into music, right?
My
Please
mom and
tell us a
dad.
little about that. Yeah.
So mom and dad, they literally met in a band when they're like 13 or 14. So
It was
it was
meant to
written,
be.
you know. It was written. We grew up around rehearsals and gigs and music, constant music. So it was very much a part of our lives. And I was thinking about this the other day, that our careers and our successes are a result of the groundwork laid by our parents and our grandparents, specifically speaking to just music alone. My grandfather, I believe, is a person that loved music and decided to form a band with my dad, my aunt, and recruit all these other people. And then I think of the fact that my dad was such a huge part, and mom, of supporting and protecting and encouraging us to do music. And yeah, I have brothers and sisters also who are not in the limelight that sing, and we're called the Von Chin family
Von
instead of the
Chin.
Von Trap.
And for the Von Chin.
But that's how we bond, over food and music. That's our thing.
Well. Thank you, mom and dad. Thank you, grandpa.
Thank
Thank you.
you.
Your movements
And
inspired the
I
world.
firmly believe that this I'm laying foundation now for Zaya or Ayla, and for other kids if they should so desire to take part in that. I believe that each generation comes and they do better. You know,
By the way, please introduce the names that you just said the names out there. There are a lot that have no
my
idea.
two daughters, Zaya and Ayla.
By the way, they're being groomed to go to Immaculate. Is that the direction?
Immaculate.
Which high school they might be going to?
And listen, we are focused on prep school and preschool. That's
You
what
look,
we're focused on right now. And sports day coming up on Friday.
you look
So
at
we'll
them
not be at.
asking you look at them asking about college. Anyway.
Don't stress me out. Let me call them father right now.
No, how did well, with the family, you're a singing family, but how did you become into the business of performing and singing? I guess you and Tammy, I don't know.
Quite literally, like I went to high school in England, and I don't mean that in a fancy way. A lot of people think it's like boarding school. No.
I did not think that.
Long story. No, because they're just like, oh, you went to high school and like, was it boarding school? I'm like, no, honey, it's not like no.
For those who don't know, due to the fact that Jamaica is a very diasporic country, especially in the 40s, people going all over the world, we
Right.
have children going to other places in the world with
Because our
families
family
somewhere
is
else.
here. Yeah. So my
Exactly.
grandfather is a Jamaican man who met and fell in love with an English woman. Right.
Ah,
So
got-
my grandmother is English, and so therefore half my family is in England. My
there you go.
mom's family.
Mm.
So we went there and went to school, and I knew pretty early what I wanted to do.
Mm.
I think at that point, mommy was just like, so I can't manage it no more. And she said, "Why you don't go home to daddy? You know, because daddy, he knows that industry, da da da, blah blah blah." And I was like, "Sure, that's what I'm gonna do." And I went home to my daddy, and daddy took it from there.
That whole exchange is epic. That entire exchange is epic.
Yeah, yeah, because at that point, when you finish high school, it's like, okay, well, am I going to go to college and try and major in something I'm not? For me personally, this is not no shade on college and higher education, you know, but I knew what I wanted to do. And
Mm,
just like, why are you stressing out trying to find something that you want to do in a college or a university when you know what it is you want to do? And
that,
especially
wow.
going to
That,
daddy who can guide you in that way. He knows all the people because we grew up around musicians and whatever, and that's exactly what I did. I came home to that.
big respect to that. Dad went
He's
outside of the
still here.
paradigm.
He's still at every gig he can be with me. Yeah.
Okay, Dad. I mean, you're showing off at this point.
I'm very blessed. I'm very blessed.
Dads, take note, dads. That's amazing. That's shifting out to the paradigm. Now, how did you get into the reggae rock? And for somebody like me, like I said, I remember when Steve Wilson had that conversation back in 1985, and then I would see little things in Kingston of people trying to do this blending of the reggae. And I know many of your voice fans probably have no idea what I'm talking about when I said this reggae rock thing. But how did you get it? Because it's revolutionary what you
um,
guys did, that whole reggae rock movement.
Again, England.
Ah,
So I was coming from a my blood is reggae.
right,
That's undeniable.
right.
But my heart is rock. It's alternative, and I was at a very impressionable age when I started hearing people like Skunk and Nancy.
Mm,
When I started hearing people like System of a Down and Limp Bizkit and um, Guano Apes, all these different metal and rock alternative bands, the Cranberries, and it made a huge impression on me because I felt something when I listened to it. I felt like I could identify with it, and when I came home, I always knew that it was something I wanted to merge, to marry,
mm,
and I got a lot of pushback, but eventually I was a little bit rebellious and I joined this rock band called Mile High, which was the reggae, the rock scene in Jamaica was the underground scene was bubbling at that time, and I was grateful for that time with Mile High because it kind of helped to hone my confidence as a songwriter as well. And then that ended and went separate ways, and
so separate ways. This is
meaning that I was no longer I stepped down from being the lead singer because I
okay.
knew that I wanted to forge a path of my own, you know? And this was after like touring with Mr. Cliff as well. Like I just felt like, okay, at that particular moment, um, I was the only person in the band that only did music. Everybody else had jobs. I
Mm,
remember Desi Joe said to me, Tess. Him say, I want you to know, say, if music are your job, music are your job.
mm,
Something to that effect. Like, don't be like, because I felt at a time like, this is really what I want to do. This is what I'm pursuing. If I don't have a show or do a gig, I'm not going to be eating.
great.
I mean, I was at my dad's house and he was taking care of me, and I did have that blessing, so I'm very lucky. But there comes a point in everybody's life where, yo, I need to see some returns.
Exactly. Exactly. Exactly.
Anyway, so we had met Rudy Valentino, who was bubbling in the music industry in Jamaica because of his unique view of music and what he added, which was that edge, that metal edge. And between him and Paul Castick, who's one of Jamaica's best drummers and who is also a rockhead, we were able to kind of come together and create something truly unique.
And that's where we
And
got.
Hideaway isn't the only one. There was a whole album of music in that vein.
That, And what's the name of the album?
In Between Words. But there are
In
even more songs that were not released that we did that I'm still to this day so proud of.
So that means at some point we're gonna get the vault open when we're doing Tessanne, I don't know, celebration of some kind,
No
the double album feature.
Who knows? I mean, I listen. I'm at this point of my life. I'm just like, hey, anything could happen. Why not?
And by the way, that and I know Hideaway is not the only one, but Hideaway is the one that I heard first.
Hideaway is the one that really, like, I'm still like I had no idea Hideaway would do what it did. So I'm very grateful to have a song like Hideaway.
And then that video, the concepts, like that was absolutely, the visuals were amazing. The song itself was amazing, and the visuals were.
That was Delano Forbes. That was his
Phase 3.
Yeah.
Excellent. So from that phase, from that phase, where did we go from there?
We went to a nice career in terms of being able to finally travel and sing and put out music, put out an album and stuff like that. But then I kind of started to feel like this is wonderful, but there's a dream that I have for myself that is more. I won't say bigger, I won't say anything, it's just more.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to not just sing reggae music, but all types of music, because as I'm a singer first, like I'm not particular. I'm not married to one genre. I'm not married to one particular style. I just love singing, right? So Shaggy had come to me with the idea of being on The Voice, and it's so funny because I remember my lawyer came to me and she told me about this new show that was going on, and they hadn't started yet. And I remember thinking, I don't know about that. But it's cool because my family and I were avid watchers of like American Idol and stuff like that. We used to love that. And back when it just started with like Kelly Clarkson,
Right.
And then Shaggy came to me and he was just like, would you do that? Would you do something like that? There may be an opportunity to do something like that. And I was just like, And then I came back to this point in my life, which is so funny because life is a cycle, right? It's a circle. And I was like, what do I have to lose? What do I have to lose? Worst comes to worst, I go up there and get little exposure. The worst. Nobody's going in there to win, by the way. I was just like, I had no idea that was even a thing. And I was just like, well, what's the worst that could happen? And I did it. I did that afraid, let me tell you, because I at my core, I like predictability.
Sure.
I like safety. So anything that took me out of that, I was like, Lord Jesus, my first day all the paperwork. I was like, me don't know about this. But we did it.
And by the way, you're right, because for me, life could have ended when all 4 chairs turned. I was so proud. Like you didn't even have to do a second more, and I was the greatest thing that happened. But we're glad you won. So let me not even bring that.
Thank you, Lord.
Oh, by the way, the other day I was at a gala for a Haitian-led organization, and the DJ was playing Rise Again.
Oh,
and there were so many Haitians there, and you know what's going on in Haiti right now? Haitians there who didn't even know that the song existed. So they wanted me to tell you and everybody involved, thank you so much. Like it felt so important. And when I saw that, I immediately put it on the screen on the video so they could watch, and so they are so grateful.
Yeah, thank you for sharing.
Ah, powerful.